So I think I need to start off this AFL trade video by just giving you guys a thank you, because honestly, the views and reception of the last 2025 AFL trade update rumor videos have just been absolutely insane. Like, you guys are continuing to kill it, and I can't thank you enough. The goal of these videos is to obviously have fun, get all of your thoughts and opinions, and start a bit of a discussion. If some of the of course the side bonus is a little bit of money in my pocket to afford some KFC, then that's awesome. But you guys are just taking this above and beyond. The community is getting massive, and there's so much discussion and trade news happening in these videos, trade discussion, happening in these videos. It is insane. The comments are absolutely on fire. Like, there's legitimately more people in my comment section than what will attend your average North Melbourne game. So it is insane. Again, I just want to thank you guys all for that. Before I, of course, started, again, little preface as well. I don't know why my face is so red right now. I legitimately look like Michael Jackson at a Wiggles concert. My cheeks are just blushing. I don't know why. I literally was doing nothing. I was sitting here for like 20 minutes just watching Instagram Reels before I started recording this video. So I don't know why I'm got such a red face. I mean, I guess it's what happens when your diet consists of Kentucky Fried Chicken, Solo, and the occasional Oreo Storm. So I don't know what it is. Again, we'll get straight into it though. We got a lot to talk about here. Again, Brendan Starcevich, there's been some more rumors and news to do with him as of late. Again, it is currently being said that the Essendon Bombers have offered Brendan Starcevich a 4-year deal worth $1.1 million a season. Again, that was actually being reported by Mitch Robinson and Reese Matheson. So I don't know where they got, that source from and that news from. But yeah, it is being said by, I guess, two guys who are really in the AFL space and AFL circle that Brendan Starcevich is getting a really big offer here. Again, probably going to be around 4 years, $4.4 million, which is really nice for a guy who's had some injury issues, as of late. Again, the offers are starting to come out. I think as the days and weeks go past now, I think it is safe to say that this guy is probably going to be leaving Brisbane. Again, like I've mentioned in a bunch of previous videos, Brisbane are getting Oscar Allen in this upcoming trade period in free agency. They're expected to get Sam Draper as well, and they're actually spending a fair bit of money on both of those players. So we're getting into a situation now where it's like they're having to dump so much money on these players, and now they're going to be losing guys like Callum Archie, who could reportedly also be on the move, and Brendan Starcevich, who's getting a massive offer here from Essendon, a massive offer from West Coast. A couple other teams have been rumoured. I think North Melbourne have been rumoured as well. Again, $1.1 million a year is no joke, especially for, his type of role. Again, he's not a key defender. He's not a superstar inside midfield or anything like that. He's a medium half back, but the good part about him is he can defend tall and small, being in that medium kind of height range, but also he's a very, very good defender, like one of the best defensive, I think, half backs in the league. Can play back pocket as well, obviously. Can do his thing over there. So a lot of teams are going to be interested in him. I think these offers are going to continue to flood out, and he's going to be just getting big deals here and there because, Essendon would be extremely lucky if they were able to sign him because he's a really quality player. And I feel like Essendon have been, other than Richmond, the most quiet team so far in this free agency and trade period. We haven't heard anything about them at all. So they're kind of coming out of nowhere with this one, and it is obviously being reported. Now, again, another thing which was being said is a random one by Mark Allen on Curnow and Silvagni's future, saying, I got a text from somebody who would know stuff, and it simply said Silvagni and Curnow to St Kilda, and that's being reported on 3AW. Again, there was just another report here previously, which we'll talk about a little bit later, about Charlie Curnow basically being denied a trade request. I mean, it is kind of insane. Like, Carlton legitimately just said, you ain't going nowhere to him. But insane to think that St Kilda right now are really, really going after so many different players. We've heard about this late Jack Silvagni mail, which has really been coming out as of late, and something that I still don't know if it's going to happen. I was pretty confident that he was going to be going to Collingwood, but again, as we know, this St Kilda mail has really come out. The Western Bulldogs are still interested in him. Again, I don't see this happening at all. I think this is complete bullshit, because I just can't see Carlton trading Charlie Curnow, especially in this year where there's a draft class that is so compromised by academy players that all the best players are going to be academies. Why would Carlton want to bring in top picks in this year's draft? I think if they were to wanting to be trading Curnow eventually, they're going to try and keep him hostage there until next year, where it's supposed to be a lot less of a compromised draft. And rumor is that the academies and father-sons might not even be going first round anymore. That might not even be a thing. So we'll see how that does unfold. But it's also like St Kilda are also really linked to Cam Mackenzie, where they would have to give up their first round pick to make that happen as well. Again, that's what Hawthorn are asking for if it does happen. So the Cam Mackenzie thing, I think, probably will end up happening. He could be a very solid midfielder one day, and he'd be perfect for the Saints. I just can't see them getting Charlie Curnow. I don't know where this has come from. If this happens, this will definitely be next year. It won't be now. And as far as what we're all hearing from all the rumours that were just previously, St Kilda weren't even on his list of the teams that he actually wanted to go to. It was Gold Coast, Geelong and Sydney, and Gold Coast were reportedly the well and truly front runner team for where he wanted to go to. So I can't see how this is even going to be happening. It's not. Silvagni, the Saints, maybe still might be a little chance, but again, I just still think he is going to be going to Collingwood. I'd be surprised if he didn't, and yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see how that does unfold. Again, another report here actually saying that Melbourne have expressed interest in out-of-contract St Kilda ruckman Max Heath, which is being reported by Josh Gabelich. Again, I think if Melbourne do actually bring in a backup ruckman, especially a 22-year-old one, you know, like Max Heath, who's actually shown some okay signs in the VFL, that wouldn't be a bad option at all. Like, I don't think St Kilda desperately need to keep Max Heath. You know, they've got a bunch of ruckmen already. You know, they'll have Tom De Koning and Rowan Marshall next year starting, and then a couple other guys who can well and truly go in there and play as well. I think there's going to be players that are going to be leaving St Kilda as free agents and as trade players, all of the above, that will still unfold, just because they're not going to be able to bring back everyone. If they're the favourites for Cam Mackenzie, you know, Tom De Koning, Liam Ryan, and a couple other guys we've been hearing about, there's going to be some players that are going to walk, and it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing. Like, I think St Kilda could honestly try and find a way to actually make a trade here and actually get some assets in and maybe trade for some of these players along the line. For example, Max Heath, he only has played 4 games and kicked 3 goals. It's not like you're going to get a lot back for him. But if you parted ways for a 3rd round pick, I honestly think that'd be pretty cheap for Melbourne, just to get it back up for Max Gawn, who's especially young, and a player that Max Gawn can actually teach and maybe even be their starting ruckman in a couple of years. But also for St Kilda to rejuvenate some assets, considering they're going to be losing like every single pick known to mankind on this upcoming trade period. So this is a win-win for both teams, and I think from all the reports and whatnot we've been hearing, we're going to start to see a lot of these eventually happen, where some of these inexperienced players who could be getting new homes will start to find them, and there'll be a lot this year. And I think Max Heath will be a name. Again, 204 centimetre ruckman. Not only would be a good backup for Melbourne now, but so young he can develop behind the elite 8-time now All-Australian Max Gawn, and maybe even potentially be their starting ruckman in just a little bit. So this is a great move. I love this for Melbourne, and I expect this could be one that very well happens. But again, we've been getting some trade news as of late, and a lot of it in the last couple of days has actually been to do with Carlton. There has just been so much Carlton news that has been flooded through my Instagram. Again, like I've had, most of my Instagram has just been a bunch of reels. Most of them are legit just racist reels or some guy getting hit by a car. I mean, I think everyone's Instagram reels are exactly the same. And then, other than my Instagram reels that pop up, there's a ton of Carlton news, which has been happening in the last couple of days. Again, as mentioned previously now on the channel, it was just being said that I got a text from somebody who knows stuff, and it simply said Silvagni and Curnow to St Kilda. I don't think, you know, this is going to be happening. This was reported on 3AW by Mark Allen. I don't think it's going to be happening at all. But it is extremely strange that Charlie Curnow did actually request a trade in, you know, of course, his player meetings, where Carlton actually said, you ain't going nowhere to him. That was reported by Tom Morris. Insane to think. What a terrible situation it is right now for Carlton, where they're going to be losing De Koning to St Kilda. Silvagni to God knows who, might even get announced by the time this video is coming out. And your best player, Charlie Curnow, wants to leave. Yeah, it's not good. As mentioned, I don't think he's going to leave this year. It's not going to happen. The Blues will not trade him because the draft is just so compromised with all academy players. They'll wait till next year to reassess the situation. But more stuff has been coming out as of late. Again, it has actually been said by Mitch Cleary that Carlton have actually told Elijah Hollands to explore his options in the upcoming trade period. He's contracted to the end of 2026, and what an insane situation, man. What another terrible situation for Carlton that's just happened for them, which is completely out of their control. This one is so out of their control. Again, for I think a long time it was said that Elijah Hollands actually had some, I think, mental health issues. There are a couple injuries here and there that he's of course suffered in his career, but a lot of rumors have been going out online. He actually made a post saying don't read everything, you know, don't believe everything you read on the internet. But a lot of rumors have been coming out as of late by some pretty good sources, and I don't want to confirm this because I don't know, you never really know, but there have been some sources that do say that Elijah Hollands is having a little bit more problems off field, if you know what I mean. Again, hopefully some of you guys are connecting the dots. If not, some of the problems look like whiz fizz that you find in the candy section. Again, I don't think I can spell it out anymore, and I'm not going to. If you don't get it by now, shit. I don't know what to say, but whether those rumors are true or not, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think for Carlton to be saying you have to explore your options is quite goddamn serious, and I actually think there must be some truth to something going on here, because they wouldn't be saying that to a guy who just last year was playing as a high half forward and was averaging 18 disposals a game as a high half forward and nearly a goal a game. Again, I think he must have been one of the most underrated players in the competition last year. Was pretty much putting up elite high half forward numbers and played a bit of wing as well. It is super strange that this whole entire situation is happening. Again, I actually do think there is one team who should try and trade for him, and unfortunately, I don't think any teams will be interested in him if the other rumors are true. But if some teams think they can get him on the right path and get all the other issues okay and all of the above, I actually think Richmond would make one hell of a team for Elijah Hollands to go play for, because I think the Tigers desperately need to add to their forward line. I think they by far have the worst forward line in the AFL, like not even a competition. And again, mostly the reason they've got the worst forward line in the comp is because it is like by far the youngest in the comp, other than Tom Lynch, who's 33, Ryan Mansell, who's, 24. Everyone else is like 18 to 19 years old, Sims, Armstrong, Lawler, Jonty Folk, Seth Campbell, Taj Houghton. All of them are so young. But I do think the Tigers need a high half forward. They also need a wing. And, you kind of get that in all in one right here. So, if the Tigers think they can get Elijah Hollands up to speed, I mean, his trade value will be incredibly low, but I don't think Carlton care, as this report is saying. I think they just want to move him and get rid of his contract. It's almost like if Richmond can get him for a late third, early fourth, I mean, yeah, you'd absolutely love that. Again, some people would, you know, look down their nose at what I just said about a third or a fourth, but again, if the rumours are true about these guys, then there's some pretty goddamn serious rumours. And Carlton have literally said to him, we want you to explore your options. We don't want you playing for us anymore. Yeah, you'd be happy to accept the freaking pack of Doritos and one singular wicked wing from KFC. His trade value is we'd just be non-existent. He'd just be dumping his contract off. So I think, yeah, a late third, early fourth would get it done, and Richmond would just hope that they could maybe get him to be a player again. If not, he'll probably be gone pretty quick. So, again, I think there's not much risk for Richmond. It's a lot of high reward, but if you're Carlton, you have to do it. I just think Richmond would be the perfect team to go for it. But again, it is being said as well that Carlton are potentially keen on Jack Petruccelle. Carlton has expressed interest in former West Coast speedster Jack Petruccelle in a bid to add the outside run and small forward depth to the Blues' crave. The Herald Sun can reveal Petruccelle could join the Blues as a delisted free agent next month after he was axed this week by the Eagles. Again, no, Carlton, don't do this. What are you doing? Why are you going after so many duds continuously and so many dud small forwards? Like, no offense to a couple of these guys, but Evans actually had a really good last 4 games of the year, or last 6 games of the year. But again, had a terrible first half of the year, was a delisted guy. They brought in Fantasia only a couple of years ago, was a delisted guy by 2 clubs and was no good for them. Jesse Motlop is still no good. Fogarty's not that good either. I mean, Petruccelle couldn't get a game in the worst team in the competition. I don't see why you would be wanting to do this at all. In my opinion, this is just one where you draw the line through it, because it shouldn't happen. And I really do hope that Carlton don't make these silly continuous mistakes. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're going to be losing a lot of players, I think, to delisting and trade, like Hollands, Silvagni, and of course De Koning, with probably another 1 or 2 could be on the move still. So they're going to have to bring in some players from somewhere, and maybe Petruccelle is what they're looking at. It's just to give him a try, see if they can get his old form back. Again, he's still not that old, but as small forwards get older, they lose their speed and they lose their craft pretty quick and pretty easy. So we'll have to definitely wait and see. Again, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on the latest AFL trade news and AFL updates, all of the above. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Subscribe to the channel for all latest AFL content, AFL news, my gaming/movie channel. Go check that out. Link in the description down below, as well as my Instagram, which will also be getting linked in the description down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.